As you can see, it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. We're standing in the northeast corner of the property, looking sort of northwest. You can notice there's smoke coming from the chimney across the street. It's not that cold. I'm standing there in a short sleeve shirt. This is the sign in the main entrance to the motel units. You can see this grassy area here. That pole there in the middle is where at once upon a time there was a home office in there, and it burnt down about 1976 or 8, somewhere in that area. Kind of panning across the cabins. The parking area, it's sort of the back side of a cabin. Pan on around here. That's the newest cabin there. It's the one they intended to, when they built it, they intended it to be sort of an office living quarters for somebody to manage the motel. This is the fence line, which would be the property line. That cabin you saw down there at the end would lose because it's on the other side of the property line, which would make it a total of, I think, 14 cabins. The paper says 15 cabins plus this cabin here. I think that's wrong. I'd have to think about that and try to recount them in my head. I counted them I don't know how many times. I think I only came up with 14 because you lose that one over there. And there's one in the back also that's not really a cabin any longer. It's the laundry facility where they do all their own laundry, linen. That's cabin number 1 over there. 1, 2, 3, 4 down the side. Those 4 cabins there are not backed up on the river, as you can tell. Looking back out along the street. Sawtooth Mountains there in the background. We'll get a better look at those here in a little bit. This is the present owner's cabin. It's his private home. And he's got his garage and his storage yard there he works on. And then this is the original cabin he built when he first went in there. And he's got the office sticking out there in the front. And he's keeping all that. The property line would be right here. I think there's area right here in this gravel area that you could put in a office laundry facility and not lose that one rental cabin in there, and then convert the present laundry room back into a cabin. So you could gain some ground there. There on the other side of that car you could fit another cabin, I believe, and more cabins. You could put more cabins in this grassy area if you didn't want to, build a home or something on it eventually. Our property is off to the, well, you can't see it now. We're sort of, where are we? Anyway, we're northwest of where we're standing right here is where our property is. About 4 miles outside of Stanley, going the other direction. This is looking across the street. At one time, this fellow owned that restaurant and the gas station down the street, and he's sold both of those off over the years. He didn't really want to be in the restaurant and gas business. This property across the street is pretty well all built up, as you can see. This is a township. It's not a city. And that's about the end of it. You can see down there where that car came from. The road goes on around the hills there, but there's no property available. It's all sold, privately held property in there. We're going to move to the back side. We're actually in the southeast corner of the facility, looking at the back of the cabins. This cabin right here is the one that we'll lose. It'll be on the other side of the fence line. That'll be the edge of the property right there between the two of them. There's fairly nice cabins for up in this area. Looking down at the Salmon River, which flows down A lot of good fishing in the Sawtooth Mountains over there in the background. Back side of the cabins, those buildings you see off in the distance is Stanley. And up on the top hill there you can see this the Stanley Airport, two-room school, church up there. I guess we're a couple of miles, mile and a half, 2 miles outside of Stanley. Here in Lower Stanley is the township we're in. The mail and everything goes into Stanley. Swing back around. That big tall building is the neighbor's idea of a motel, which has nothing to do with this property. Panning so fast I'm starting to make myself sick. Let's slow down here. Where am I going? Oh, I'm going into the cabin I'm staying in. As you can see, it's got a couch that makes into a bed. Quite nice log cabin style inside. Double bed. Pan around. Area to hang clothes. Heater. Sometimes you need that in chilly mornings. Bathroom with a shower. Right there. We'll pan around onto the kitchen area. Fully furnished kitchen. Sink. Refrigerator under the sink. Stove and oven beside it's all one unit there. Table and chairs. TV and a storage drawers. Chest of drawers or something there. Then back outside to the river. Small, but they get $70 to $75 a night for this cabin on peak season. This is the laundry building where they do their own laundry. That could be converted back into a cabin. It was a cabin at one time, which would put it back on the income producing property, as if you relocated the laundry facility. This is just one of the cabins that are there. Looking back out there. Swing back around. Looking down the row of cabins, you can see some of these face the parking, some face the river. Now I'm in the northwest corner, looking back where I was originally, at the beginning of the film. That motel sign would come down and move across to our property. This is the grassy area, like I said, where you could, it may not look so large here, but it's a pretty good sized piece of property. This is cabin number 1, actually 1 and 2 right here in this building. 3, 4 down the row, then 5 down there in the corner, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That one there you see with the right there is a double cabin. It's 2 cabins in one. So it's about 10 of them or so there that you can count. That one you see the back side, it faces the river. That one faces the river. That one on the right there doesn't, and that one doesn't. But they say those on the river there, they get anywhere from $70 to $75 a night during peak season, and they're usually 100% occupied during the peak season, which is June, July, and August, basically. Behind the wheels on that fence there are the propane tank and the well, which feeds the property with water. Everything's on propane. And, well, we're just kind of panning around, trying to make ourselves dizzy and sick, I guess. I don't know what it is. That's the parking area. You have to have an antenna or dish up there. The reception on the TV in these units isn't too great. I think something would have to be done about that. Okay, this is the next morning. You can tell we've got the Sawtooth Mountains off there in the distance in Stanley, the back side of the cabins. I did this in the morning just so the sun would be behind my back and have a better view of the mountains there. That's Stanley there. I think if you ever got up there, you'd fall in love with it. We did. Pan around so we can see the river, try not to get the sun direct. There's the sun on the water. You can see a little steam coming up. It's pretty early in the morning. Actually, I had frost on the windshield this morning when I went out. And that's about it. That's the panoramic view of the Sawtooth Mountains and the McGowan cabins. That one with the sign on it is the back side of the laundromat, and then that's the cabin I'm in. So I think it has potential, and got some room to expand a little bit, and I think it could pay for itself.